They are getting readings for Lunar acceleration.
To the post-landing court procedure.
Yeah, I just
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another great episode of this show.
Right, so
what you're hearing in the background is
feed
call it
lines.
Space Talk from a lunar landing going on right now. A company called Intuitive
That means the
Machines
engine's no longer
is
running,
landing.
and it's a state to bleed off that
supposedly
extra
has
pressure.
landed
This is
on
part of
the
that
south
safing
side of the
bit
moon
that we
towards
talked
the
about
South Pole.
earlier, Leah. Looks
morning.
like our CEO, Steve Altmus, just stepped into the room. That's in the bottom right hand of the box here, talking to the mission director, Dr. Tim Crane. He just called out telling Spark to turn some things off. That's because we need to remain in a power positive state, Leah. Getting that.
Anyway, it is March 6, 2025.
But sometimes you have to turn a few things off to make sure that you're charging and not just burning through that power.
Feeding up. It's March 6, 2025. A lot going on. Tomorrow we got the Crypto Summit in Washington, D.C. All the crypto Twitterverse is talking about it, this and that, and this and that. Some people are calling BTC going to a $5 million tomorrow. Other people say it's going to sell off because selling the news, buy the rumor, sell the news. I believe that whatever is coming tomorrow is already priced into the market.
Eastern time.
And
communications on the lander when you're in a
just running slow again, just like the lunar lander.
If we turn off the Mogies and Iggies.
Try to do this when I move things around.
This code for the
if you turn off
on my stream deck,
inert or
things don't go well.
We can bring them back up though, right?
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we got a good show for you today. Over here, the man of the hour, Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. Pedro, what's happening?
Yes.
not much, man. Things are crazy, bro.
103 and MV3.
Things are absolutely insanity, man, with what is happening in the world. With China outright just saying, bro, yesterday with the memo that was basically said, F you, if you're going to come out as strong, we're going to handle strong as well. We won't be bullied, to what is happening in crypto in America, to Elon Musk outright saying that we're going to go and start mining in literally a couple years. This is nuts. And dude, all of it was predicted here on this show. How many times have I talked about literally gold and commodities are going to go through the floor once we start to do what? Astro mine. And we literally said here, me and you were kind of yelling. You're like, dude, we're 20 years out. I said, no, we're probably within a 2 to 5 year period where Elon Musk literally gets his stuff up and running based off. And that was a year ago when we were talking about that.
So we need until we get a handle on what.
Bro, if we can do that in the next year and a half to 2 years, you understand we can go through, find gold on an asteroid. I'm not joking.
No, like, I know. I play that game. I play EVE Online. We got to do that to stay alive. We've sent, not just we, but the world, various different agencies have sent things to asteroids far away. And like the very first one we got stuff off came back to the US already. Just little, this much. But I have a feeling that Elon's thing is not going to be to return things to the Earth to refine them. It's going to be to return
build
things
up
to
Mars
or the moon or Mars or something like that.
And just a recap of some of the
Elon has this
so
plan.
Today, we had power
well, I'm going to speak, not speaking for Elon, but what I can guess, he's got electric cars, he's got AI, he's got robots, he's got tunneling technology, he's got habitats, he's got rocket ships, he's got communications, he's got all the things he needs to live on Mars, to get there, to live on Mars, to sustain himself. But he's missing that one key thing, Pedro, and you just brought it up. That's an economy. If he can bring asteroid wealth, if he can bring asteroid wealth to Mars, and there's a reason to exist there,
up into this point.
then he gets to pay for the whole thing.
Went through, for those to come down during
Spark 638
So-
acknowledged.
during that landing
It's
sequence
just
showing,
it's that
during
one
that
thing he needed. So if he can send the
deceleration
rockets out there,
10 meters,
mine
believe
stuff.
that was,
I mean,
over the surface
I
for the
can't-
simulation.
I think he's going to
complexities of
bring
that-
it back to. I think he is, bro. Because here's the thing. What he's done
there.
for America
Head down
already,
towards the bottom
and
right
how
hand
he's
side.
literally pretty much financed
Your
Trump.
screen, we keep hearing those
I think
acknowledgements,
he's
the
going to do
vehicle
both.
receiving
I don't
our
think it's going to be
command,
one or
please
the
stand
other.
by
He's
for
going to come.
the
He's going
real
to cripple
deciding factor here.
the
Never
world
forget
economic
We did hear that they were
structure
going
by
into,
basically
640
establishing
acknowledged.
a way to go out
Commanded
and mine the
landed
universe.
ops. So can you walk us through some of
And
what
he's
that means? I
going
know
to
there's a
allow
brief
it to be able to
section
go in large amounts and bring it
Right,
back
there's
and
different-
literally make
different modes that we
America
need to command, right?
most
At the beginning of
wealthiest
PDI, we hear
country
the
in
command for
the
exec mode, all right?
known
Spark
world
641
universe
acknowledged.
by
That's
going and
executing-
mastering.
executing
Or-
the
And there's
vertical
no way.
lander,
I
right? When
don't
we switch
see
over
it
into
why
landed
he
ops,
would
it's a
not.
different setting of the
Or
lander in order for us to
he'll
go
make
through
the
those
planet
steps,
Mars the most
safing
wealthy
the vehicle
place
first and
in the
foremost.
universe.
That liquid methane, liquid
Do you
oxygen.
understand? It gets
Bring it
to
down.
a
Also,
negative, what was it?
Tim, I'd like a
Negative
recommendation
107
on whether or not we
degrees
keep Talos 1 up or if we bring it down.
and Mars.
Yeah, in the shade.
Do we understand? Like,
up and down for
he's
radios,
first
Yeah, bring
going
it
to
down for now. We're
establish
taking the same
a
pictures.
strong situation here so that he can do that. He's building his base here.
Not
It'd be
looking
silly
inside
for him
now.
to go from there to Mars. Like, I just,
I
Right.
think every time I've thought something was silly that he was doing, like
He did
a
say
week later,
pictures.
it was happening.
He did say pictures,
but bro,
yeah.
I've literally called this
So-
out. Like, I don't.
How
Elon
can we
Musk's
see,
mindset and how
status
he
of
sees
Athena
things
on the
literally is pretty
surface?
clear. The
And
only thing I haven't
we were
seen, which
initially
I just
expecting the pictures
baffles
to take
me
a couple of
from
hours
a
to come
voting
down,
standpoint is the
as supply chains
Democrats
prioritized downloading
like
data and safety of
not
the vehicle,
finally
but
coming to the
this will help us better
center
understand
of
the
their thought
configuration
process.
of the lander.
They're holding on
Spark
strong to this
642
whole
acknowledged.
entire ultra
Every
left
time we hear
woke
Miguel come
ideology.
on the tunes
Order,
there.
But
can you
apart
zoom
from
in
that,
this view?
everything else has pretty much been on point.
Ryan
I
Smith,
just-
welcome to the house.
Actually, give me the spacecraft view.
I
Spark
think it's the
644
same
acknowledged.
Ryan Smith that I've
Getting
known
all
for a
these
number of years.
acknowledgements coming
Is it?
through.
Is it Ryan? He says,
Yeah,
we
take that
dumping.
down.
Who sold? Everyone sold.
All right, we're gonna see here.
Everyone
Check
sold.
record out.
Bitcoin is down under
Powering
$90,000
down
now.
things
Space
that we're not
Cat,
using
welcome to
anymore.
the house. Space Cat, I haven't
Mission director looks
played
like
your
he's
thing in a while.
Looking up at the screen, maybe they're looking at a little bit of data that we do not have in front of us. Still
I'm not
standing
sure you
by
could
for
hear that. Let's play that
confirmation.
again. There we go.
Space.
The final frontier.
Steps
Ryan
to
Smith
progress
says,
then
F-
from the commander's system,
F
also
around
pulling down
and F
data
out.
inside of mission control.
Mr. O007 talking
Steps
background
on the
people
surface.
talking. Yes, that's the lunar
And then
landing
finally,
that's
sounds
going on.
like
I'll
we've
turn
heard a
that off
couple
right now
mentions
because
of
they're
pictures. We've shown a couple
they're
from
apparently
off
they're
the
on the
set
moon.
stage. And we're just going to keep standing by, looking into Nova Control here in Houston, Texas.
Let me see
just
if
down
I
the
can
street
turn that off
from
without
Johnson
turning
Space
everything off
Center
here.
to find out the situation inside of the
There, it's nice and
IM2
low.
mission.
And for that, we'll put a nice
Touchdown.
little
Again,
space
that
theme
was
on
about
today.
9
Spark
I won't pipe it to you, Pedro.
Still in contact with the vehicle right now. We know the vehicle.
Anyway, Pedro, we could talk about Elon Musk all day, and we need to. What we need to get doing is talking about BTC. What's going on in the markets today?
Well, like we've said, that BTC has been following the
Spark 646
traditional markets, and when they sell off, it sells off. Now, one of the things that I said a while back ago was once Elon Musk starts to, and this is really important, going out and doing asteroid mining, that gold itself will probably start to implode on itself, and as well as this. I think it's so important to pay attention to. What becomes really valuable is crypto, especially BTC, primarily because it's a true finite system. 21 million, and that's it.
Spark
Bring them back down.
649 acknowledged.
Yes.
So BTC at these levels, basically between 10,000 and 100,000. Yo, I hear it so loud in my ear with
You hear what in your ear?
the lunar.
Sorry, I thought I turned that off for you.
That's okay. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just if you could put it, just lower it. It's really loud. There we are. Okay. So in regards to the market here, I'm looking at it. So we're seeing the S&P 500 sell off. Again, it's kind of in this range. Like I said, if this ends green, which was going to be Tuesday, expect to see it go up. We're seeing it here kind of pulling back to that 20-period moving average and seeing it kind of tap and see what it's going to do on this 8-period moving average on the daily is really important. If we're able to hold here, then it's going to definitely go up. Now, if you look at the sell-off though, okay, the sell-off here that we've seen so far from the highs here is literally at a very small amount of seller volume, which is what I was kind of shocked about. So as we're seeing the NQ or the Qs start to sell off, okay, and we're seeing a decrease in volume there with them as it's coming down. I don't know. Like right now, we're literally about to hit some liquidity right now on the Qs as we speak. Like we're coming up to it. We're about, what is it? Where's price at right now? 20
television up front, right in front of the mission director. Just asked to pull up the antenna.
So 83 to 10. So we got 26 points, 25 points in the NQ before we hit some liquidity where they're going to stop a bunch of people out. As this happens, if we see BTC really start to turn around and come in with volume on the upside, then we're going up and we're going to blow through this 50, 95, 93 area. Again, our daily A is sitting right here at that 87. So coming down to this 87 mark area, we want to see it tap it and then see a lot of bump. And that is kind of what we're seeing right now. Again, I'm very much still bearish right now, primarily because what we're seeing with the traditional markets. We know that they've been following it. We know that they've been kind of, when one goes up, it may go up for a day or two, but it then turns back around and follows suit with what the traditional markets are doing. So you can definitely see it. Now, obviously, because of crypto and the volatility, you have exaggerated movements, right? But in reality, it still hasn't moved much, because if you look at it, the range between that 95 and 85 area here, and the 82 off the 200 period, it's still kind of just going sideways here. So it's a similar situation like we saw here, where we saw a sell-off, push up, sideways pattern, and then drop. So this is where I don't want us to get fooled, right? We saw a lot of seller pressures coming in. We're seeing buyers step in, but with not a lot of volume. So that's why I don't want you guys to get caught off. Right now, it's a state of we need to wait and see. Hurry up and wait, right? It's a military term. So, what's up?
That was my student driver, my student teacher phrase also. He's like, I came into a red light too fast. He's like, why are you going so fast? Just hurry up and wait. He's like, well, I was driving the speed limit. And he's like, but you knew it was red. So now you sit and wait.
We are also generating power.
So,
yeah, good point. So that's a good way of explaining. We want to wait. We want to see what direction the market wants to go, and then we're going to go that. I still am very bullish long-term on crypto, but bearish on the sentiment of which direction it's really going. The institutions are trading this exactly the way I expect them to be trading this, right? Push it up when everybody wants to go short, and go long when everybody wants to buy. Excuse me. They want to buy when everybody wants to short, and they want to short when everybody wants to buy. And so that's definitely what we're seeing. And Tom, you're in, what is it, interlude or intro, sorry. Interlude?
The intro music?
No, when you talk about something before it actually starts. And my main man, Pedro, who's going to talk about your, what's that called? Interlude?
My monologue?
No, your monologue.
My show intro?
Trill, it's a word. It slipped my mind. Whatever. But what I want to bring up here is just that you hit a good point where you said, are they playing games with people's hearts? And I say, yes, they are. They are. They're playing. You can see here the 8 and the 20 we're going back and forth. A lot of sell-off pressure, not a lot of demand, real buyers coming in. So it's kind of wait and see right now what is going to happen and what is going to look like with the strategic reserve. So I think that's why we're seeing things posture and kind of wait and see what it plans to do. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm excited. I'm hoping that we're going to see some big movements here. And whether it's up or down, we're ready. But right now, we kind of have to wait and see until we really see a daily trend. Obviously, that daily trend was real over last week. And then into this week, we saw it go up. But it's more or less sideways because we're still within this Mariposa candle here.
Well, I can't stress enough how much kind of speculation is going on in the markets right now. Not just in Bitcoin, but in all the markets because of this big announcement tomorrow from the White House Crypto Summit and David Sachs, the crypto czar, and of course the person who takes credit for everything, Mr. Trump. And so we'll see a lot of people trying to move the market around. It's not a great day if you're a small investor trying to scalp the market. That stuff's going to happen. And not only that, but I bet you it's going to affect the other things. Pedro, isn't the S&P 500 coming down today? Or the U.S. dollar is really corrected. The S&P 500, I thought, came down a little bit.
Well, we hit our area. So yesterday we talked about us hitting that $1.04 area. We've been talking this now for a while, right? We put that 104 area when the market was more up in January. I said expected to come down to that 104. And I hope and potentially coming down to this 99 area. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I see buyers there. There's real buyers, right? And so if it comes down there, we'll see what happens. But it's screaming, hey, it wants to come down. And we see it. Right now, you see the pronounced movement in that 8-period moving average. You can see the crossovers. It just kind of makes sense. Euro's going up. Everything is going up. Yes, Bitcoin is definitely following what we're seeing with traditional finance, right? When the S&P 500 goes down, so does Bitcoin, right? When the S&P 500 goes up, or really it's the NASDAQ, right? It's kind of syncing with the NASDAQ. And so this is what we're seeing, that parallel. And I'm looking at it going, all right, so we're seeing the same kind of, it's still different, but the same type of volume when you see movement happening in traditional finance in Q or the QQQs, right? The NASDAQ. So it's just, it's kind of wait and see. It's not looking good because what's happening with NVIDIA. China just came out literally saying, hey, yeah, our quantum computer system is pretty kick-ass, and we're actually developing our own type of thing. They're talking about literally, without invading them. If they need to, they will. But going into Taiwan, we all know Taiwan is really the place that sets up for the NVIDIA cards and everything of that nature. So we're, again, if Japan, or if, excuse me, not Japan, if
Taiwan,
if China mainland says we're just taking over Taiwan, what we just did with the Panama Canal and how BlackRock bought them, literally, yeah, and then thank you, we got it now, it's in. So it puts China on its heels. It makes sense that what I'm seeing in the market is literally playing in conjunction to what we're talking about.
So one second, Pedro, I got to call Larry Fink. Is this BlackRock? Oh, hey, Larry, how you doing? It's Tom. Yes, I got an issue for you. This Panama Canal thing. You got any spare cash laying around? We need the Chinese have taken over these 2 ports, and we just need to buy it. Already? It's done? Wow. You're using real world assets. You transferred them to Mondo? Oh, well, that's cool. All right. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate it. Get back to you later. Well, that was easy.
Why isn't anybody talking about this? That was the other thing. I didn't even understand. I was like, this is not on any major news source. It happened a couple of days ago. We didn't even talk about it. I was going to bring it up.
I had it on my list of things to talk about too, and I totally spaced on it.
Yeah, and it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. But the other part is China is like legitimately on its heels. I think what we've seen with Elon Musk outright just saying we're going to start astro mining and we're going to kick this off and get it going is going to push China having to develop either because here's the thing, he needs Taiwan. There's a lot of stuff that he gets from Taiwan, and I think what's happening is Elon. This might start off.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought process.
I think we're going to see is another rocket push around the world, another space age that we're going to see happen between us and China. And it's going to start kicking in. And it makes sense that China has to take somehow the footing away from America, or at least Elon Musk. And the best way to do that, take over Taiwan.
Now,
whether that's politically.
We could talk about foreign policy all day, but let's just ask this question. What actually, other than just, hey, we're the hegemon in Asia, what does China get out of taking over Taiwan and including the wrath of the rest of the world for, let's say a decade before it smooths out? What do they actually get? They don't get the semiconductor industry. I mean, China already builds plenty of their own semiconductors. The semiconductor industry will leave and all that type of stuff. I don't understand what they get. I mean, they get a bunch of cheap labor. They got plenty of cheap labor, I mean, I don't get it. Why would China say we're going to go to war with the United States over Taiwan? What's there? They don't have any natural resources. They have to import everything, all of their energy needs. They have semiconductor factories. But what? I mean, we're going to be building those semiconductors probably in Mexico soon. Trump is all over the NVIDIA guy saying, look, we got to stop relying on Taiwan because this is a national security thing. You're going to have to move to another market. Maybe not the United States, but, NVIDIA already manufactures stuff all around the world. Even Foxconn, it's, one of Taiwan's biggest things. They manufacture a huge amount of stuff in China. They also manufacture stuff around the world. And, American companies are going to have to step up, or Mexican companies, or whomever, or branches of Fox. I just don't know what we get or what China gets. I mean, what we get is foreign policy, just keeping China under our thumb by not letting them have Taiwan. But I don't know what China gets other than just bragging rights. We put the country back together. It's been since 1948 when they forced Chiang Kai-shek out. But fun fact, his wife, Chiang Kai-shek's wife, was exiled to the U.S. and lived in Houston for a long time, and she had an armored car built by the company I started with, an armored Cadillac.
A Cadillac,
the old big Fleetwood Bromes,
the big ones.
Yeah. She lived. I think she lived until the 1990s, or something like that. She was pretty old, but they had a bodyguard drive her around it everywhere.
It's interesting, man, when you look at the whole entire situation. I was watching a little documentary, and somebody said if Japan did not invade China during the 1930s, that Mao Zedong would have never been able to recoup and really get the Communist Party up and running. And that's just crazy when you think about it. Like if you could tell Japan, hey, Japan,
hold off on that for
about another 2 years.
Right.
Just 2 years and go and do it, but just another 2 years and you'll be good. But that
although
my
long-term view of China is that eventually there'll be that internal push to purge them of outsiders again. That happens in China almost like clockwork. Just they open up, everything is great, and then they start getting taken advantage. Like, let's assume China's economy contracts by half for some reason. People are unemployed. It's a disaster. A guy like Mao will rise again, and people will be like, Yes, we want that guy. He can help us. Enough of this stuff in the world. Let's be China first. Then they'll, focus on their interior again. And it's one of those things that could happen in a week with a peasants revolt, or it might take 50 years. You never know with China. But they it's a cycle with them in open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close.
Here's the thing: the Chinese. There's been so many little small uprisings in China already. We've already seen, and yet they get smashed down. Right. So that is something that we've seen now multiple times against the CCP. And additionally to that, CCP is literally putting $3+ trillion a year into AI, into quantum computing. What's up?
I don't believe that number. I don't think the Chinese have the wherewithal to do that. They might be saying that, like when they bragged about DeepSeek, and it turns out it was just skimming ChatGPT's output. So I think all that's. I think all that's crap.
No. Did you hear about the whole entire quantum computing leap? 5 times over America, and it's there. They have it going. So it's like you're downplaying this.
I'm not downplaying. I'm just saying they don't have $3 trillion just to dump into something. I mean, it's not. I mean, their whole economy is $3 trillion. They can't dump that amount of much money in one industry.
Bro, all right, let's go here real quick, because maybe you don't know this. Let me show you this here real quick, because we calculate pretty much the rest of the world's what they make, their GDP. I believe their GDP. Give me 1 second.
Well, maybe their GDP is 20 billion. But my point remains, they don't have $3 trillion in cash just to put in AI. I mean, they can't even keep their housing market afloat right now, and that's
they
way
do not
more
care.
important to them.
This is where I think the government understands how important AI is. 1, to suppressing uprises. 1, 2, also putting them in an advancement from a what's the word I want to use? From a military standpoint, they're already more advanced in robotics than we are. You see the dancing kung fu one that was like legitly moving? Did you see that video?
Yeah.
Bro, I said, what is going on here? Like so, like in the back of my head, I'm sitting there going like, this is, I'll put it, when it comes down to this, Elon Musk and his ability to start astro mining will either save the world, because what will happen is it will bring in so much wealth and give America so much capability that China, just like when Japan, when the atomic bombs were dropped, right? And that was such a big deal that they just said, okay, we surrender. There's no way we
Good morning, Carmen Crypto. Good morning, Chumbalones. She says, welcome to the show. We're sidelining about Elon Musk's minerals, China.
Yeah, there it is. So their GDP is 18 trill. I was going to say 16 in their debt. I thought their debt was about 15 trill. So and this jumped up, and I remember this because it was during Trump's first initiative. I've been paying attention for years. And what was so interesting is you saw their national debt. They had, it used to be about 50%, about 30 to 50%. But once they came in and really started pushing hard on AI, this jumped up to 15. And I remember that specifically going like, oh, shoot. So it is one of those things that it is.
Carmen says, good morning, Rumble family. For those of you watching on Rumble, please like and follow.
Yeah,
we're really trying to kick it over there on Rumble. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that'll help us out. And just come. I actually didn't say what's up, my peoples. What's up, my peoples? Now, here's the thing, Tom. Again, I think this all has to do with what, and your son and you're very much into rockets. You guys understand how this stuff works, the ability. Do you think that Musk could, within 2 to 3 years, really allow us to start to like send out rockets into space and start going into the asteroid belt and pulling asteroids back?
Well, remember, it takes, I mean, right now it takes 4 to 5 years to get to the asteroid belt. If you launch today, unless you put the biggest effing rocket on the planet, Starship and with enough fuel that you reload in space and shoot right at it, then it would, get it down to probably much. I don't know the orbital mechanics of the asteroid belt, but just Mars is, anywhere from 4 months to 2 years, depending on where you are in the orbit to get there. And the asteroid belt is really far, and so getting, needing all that fuel to get there and needing all that fuel to get back. That's why I was saying that. That's why I was saying it doesn't make any sense to bring it back to Earth, because the asteroid belt's further out than it's really far. And if you brought it back to Mars and refined it there, remember, they're not going to just get like pure gold out of these things. They have to get the ore, however it is on these things. It'll need to be refined somewhere. So I think that infrastructure, I'm sure Elon's got some secret plan off to the side. He's building self-contained refinement things that are fully automated, that he can put in shipping containers, and launch them, send them, maybe even send it right to the asteroid and refine it right there, drain the asteroid of all its minerals, and then, then leave it, mark it as used, and send the ship back after a couple of years with the stuff on it. I mean, this is not a 2 to 3 year thing that in which stuff was coming back under any circumstances. It would be, starting today, it would be 10 years. Just, Elon hasn't even have his big rocket even flying properly yet. I mean, he's got to get that going. He's got to get the ships ready for Mars and his NASA contract with the moon. He's under contract to do other things first, but he does all sorts of stuff together. So I don't think the gold price will be affected yet. I mean, the moment he said the gold price will be affected the moment he says the ship is leaving the asteroid for Earth. And then people will be like, oh, shit. And he says, we've got 400 tons of gold. That's when people will be like, But the supply, what happens when you increase supply? Price go down. So, if all of a sudden, India, China, and the U.S. or whomever mining the asteroid belts like an EVE Online, it's just a completely different market then.
Well, I look at it like this. I mean, the fact is, I don't even think about really the price of gold going down. What I really look at is the idea that Bitcoin would truly become a finite commodity, where it truly is like, now that we can go, now that like here's the thing. Elon Musk said, I'm going to create an autonomous car, and people laughed. No, first he said, I'm going to create a car that is eco-friendly, and people laughed, said it can't be done. It was done. He said, I wanted to create a system that will be able to fight against AI, that's going to interlock and interplay with AI, and he created that device that allowed it to. And then here's the thing. He wanted to create a rocket that would go up and down. People laughed and said, you can't do that. You can't send a rocket up and land it. And he did it.
Right. Said, oh yeah.
Okay, so
Wanna bet?
Listen, like this is what I'm trying to say. If the man says he's going to do something, it may take him a little bit longer, but he's going to get that shit done. And he doesn't play for second. Right? He doesn't play to lose.
I wore my
Like, and when he makes
space shirt today, Major Tom to ground control. That was by coincidence.
Major Tom.
You're right. He gets shit done.
Yeah. So I don't see this being something that he's not going to do. And I think he's going to do a lot quicker than, I mean, we'll see what happens. We don't know. Like you said, what was the one that just went up today and they were having problems with it?
Oh yeah. Apparently it didn't, apparently there was a problem. They did not celebrate the landing on the moon, and then they ended their live stream. So that tells me that there's a problem, and it's probably on its side. Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, it's probably the gravity and all that other stuff. But I mean, it's not like it's going to be his last time doing this. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't Elon that did this. It was another company that did it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So I just think it's interesting, just what we're seeing right now, and just everything that is happening, especially with what is happening with China, what we're seeing with quantum computers. Once they're able to really get the error rate down to 1%, bro, it's game over. Like, and there's no, I mean, you can either beat us through quantum computing or AI, whoever gets there first, you know, because if you get to quantum computing and your error rate and efficiency is just minuscule, and you can sit there and say, I want you to go do this and break these encryption codes and jump into here, all data is no longer safe. And so I think it's just really interesting to see what's actually happening.
Well, it might not be safe until it's encrypted with quantum computers.
Pretty much. So it's just real interesting. Are you watching Rumble?
No, I am not watching Rumble. I can.
Yeah, Rumble. There's literally nobody there.
I've got 5. It says here.
I've got 4.
Hey, Rumble people, throw us a comment, something like that. Let us know you're watching. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. We got Ryan Smith, Carmen Crypto. What's up? We got Mr. 007. Good to have you. Background people talking. Nice. Where else? So I think that's to me, that's just, it's crazy what we're seeing in the economy, what's actually happening in the world. And it's kind of scary, to tell you the truth. I mean, like, it's nuts.
I'm trying to find Elon. Was it a tweet that Elon said about mining?
Yeah, I forget. Yeah, I think it was the mining. I think it was a tweet. I got it through a secondhand source that was talking about it, and
Here's one
and they
of
were
these
doing
the memes from Congress.
Bro, they are so
Voted
creative.
against women. America last. I love war. I steal from taxpayers. Illegals first. I don't know what a woman is. Get this one down here. I don't know what a woman is.
You know, and a part of me is just like, when will like common sense prevail? Like again in America, with the left. I don't understand how they can. It just blows me away. Oh, that woman, she is catching like fire, bro. I've seen her now on like 10 of my people. It's like
Anna Polina.
no. Wait, this one
This
right
lady?
Here. Yeah. She's
Oh yeah, I see this one. They never did anything they promised. Right.
But also, she then talks about how, Trump, he said he was going to do this, and he did it. And she just straight up saying, I'm never going to vote for a Democrat again. And there's a lot of African American people that are agreeing with her, that are like, man, I voted and my grandparents used to vote a Republican. And this, I was reading, one guy was literally saying, like, it was like how he remembers the Democrats like still being like we're talking in the late 40s, right? Late 30s, being like still like really okay with segregation and this whole entire thing. And it was like, she goes, I remember this. Like, how is it that we forgot this? And now it's like we're waking up. And I sat there reading through uh her thing, and I was just kind of shocked to sit there and go, like, Americans are really coming together over the fact that they want a centralist. They want a candidate that puts America first and wants. And I'm kind of like sitting there going, like, I mean, you're gonna. I wonder. I think the
I've lost you, Pedro.
midterms. Hello, can you hear me?
No, I mean I've lost where your train of thought is going.
No, the train of thought is this: is that with people that are literally 100% for crypto, right? Trump is 100% crypto. They're going to adopt the idea of crypto over the next years or 2 or 3 years. So I see crypto again getting more powerful, receiving more just news sources. I had another friend today reach out to me saying, dude, I want to buy XRP. I said, I don't like XRP, but if you want to buy it, you can. But on the back end, look, I think what's important is that you learn actually how to navigate crypto. And so, it's long story short, man, we're in a dope time, and it's good to be in crypto. It's in a nutshell.
We'll hear more about that tomorrow. Pedro, let's talk. I'm scrolling through Elon's Twitter here, X feed. Here he reposted a scene. One of those Venezuelan gang members was in a Denver jail, and ICE asked them to transfer them to the ICE agents inside the jail. And the Denver people are like, nope, Sanctuary City, we can't help you and all that. They're like, okay. So they waited outside the door. And here's the video. The dude walks out of the joint right here. And then the guys immediately run him down. And he starts to run to get away. And they, of course, give him the business. But an agent got hurt, got punched in the face. Another one twisted their knee, because they're chasing this dude and stuff like that. The city of Denver, they need to move that city to California, I think. I don't know what the hell is wrong with them. The mayor says, we need to speak with ICE and sit down and talk with them about best procedures moving forward. Yeah, deport them, MFer.
The thing is, we're not asking you to, like, this guy, the immigrants that we're going after are literally people who are violent. Like, it's not like we're going after, like, it's not like we're going after, like, a daughter and her mom who is just trying to, work a back job where she, does dishes, and her daughter is going to school and learning English and growing. We're literally going after the people who literally hurt people, hurt Americans, hurt their community by doing drug trafficking or human trafficking, or a lot of times one and the same. These are the people that they're really going after. And yes, there are people that are getting caught up in that. It does break my heart to sit there and see there are some that, that they are getting, guys who are working the fields, and they're not, they'll say, hey, you got to go. And so there are some of those, but not a lot. And they're really going more after like the hardened criminal people. Like, they're going around saying, look, we're not going after you, but we know there's a lot of fentanyl. There's a lot of drugs being sold around here. Do you know the dealer? Like, like it's pretty.
That fentanyl thing, the Chinese came out yesterday with their thing saying, we're not doing it. We're not selling that stuff. There's, that's all bullshit. We'll go to war over this type of stuff. And then the next article in my feed was how the Office of Foreign Assets Control figured out how the companies in China that make the precursors for fentanyl, which they ship also over to North America, were getting paid in cryptocurrencies, so they could be off the books from the Chinese banking system. And it's not just like 20 billion. And this isn't like criminal laundering money or anything. It's just they're just getting paid using crypto.
They're being smart about it.
Yeah, and how they're making billions of dollars worth of these precursors and using the crypto system to pay for it, so they don't have to come to the attention of the Chinese banking industry. And here the Chinese are like, we're not doing that. Yeah, we'll go to war over that kind of stuff. It's dumb tariffs, blah, blah, blah. I mean, next article, billions of dollars in precursors.
Here's the part that is just funny. It's like, instead of sitting there and saying, hey, we're getting closer to World War III, let's actually start real communicating. Again, it's another, like, that's what she said, he said, and it's just, look, man, we're getting to the point where we're going to be sending rockets out and picking up asteroids. Can we come together? Like, that's my biggest hope, like, that we can actually get over the bull, and that we can actually have real communication. And China, because once you start bringing in real minerals, and I think and like you said, okay, we'll say 10 years, 10, 15 years, right from now, it's done. Like, why are we going to fight over your land? Right? Like, it becomes silly. So if we can actually come together before we demolish one another in a nuclear, I wouldn't say it, but it's just, we gotta just last longer than if the quicker Elon Musk gets that and where we can start mining real asteroids and bringing them back, it changes the whole entire landscape for, I want your piece of land. No, I want that piece of land. It literally solves it at the root. And I just, and then crypto becomes even more valuable. Hey,
good bridge back into crypto.
right?
Speaking of crypto, Pedro, where did $16.5 billion go? Theme of the show I have up right now. U.S. government fail. $16.5 billion disappears. I kind of clickbaited that a little bit because $16.5 billion didn't disappear. But what the U.S. government did was, in their kind of version of Operation Choke Point, and even going back to when Mr. Trump was the president previously and didn't really understand crypto, the government seized Bitcoin from people and then sold it. And frankly, I don't know why they would sell it when it was, they can have it on their books. They can, whatever. But I mean, the government has all kinds of assets on their books: cars, stocks, bonds, all kinds of stuff. And they periodically have auctions and they get rid of stuff. But all the other stuff they have, except for some big pieces of land they take from drug dealers, they have to, like, the big assets they have to pay to maintain. They seized all those boats from the Russian oligarchs. Well, those boats require like $50,000 a month, some of them, to maintain and land. They see some big farms and stuff like that. Those have ranch hands, those have people on them, or they have people that need to manage them so that they're still valuable if they're producing output. With Bitcoin, it costs exactly $0 to maintain that Bitcoin stash. It doesn't cost the government anything. Maybe they might spend a little money on training people and stuff like that to manage the wallet, but it doesn't cost them anything. And it's an appreciating asset, and it has always been an appreciating asset. Every time frame that you look at, 1 year to the next, it always goes up. And they sold it off. They sold off 195,000 Bitcoins for $166 million. And today, I'm sorry, it's $366 million. Today it would be worth $17 billion, Pedro. They had just held on to it. $17 billion just in the seed stuff. That would be the instant beginning of the crypto reserve. And they didn't have to pay. Imagine having a zero basis, Pedro, for $17 billion of Bitcoin.
Here's the part that's funny is you would then have the most Bitcoin than anybody else in the world has. Right? Like if we had held on to all of that.
Well, I mean, the Sailor's got $44 billion worth. But he owes $34 billion on it.
Which is kind of silly. This is why his chart looks like this. Which I thought was really interesting. I didn't look it at here. I haven't looked at it in a day. But it's still like, look, from his high to his low right here. He's gone from 34 or 232 to $100 in the last few days. So, hey, maybe he might.
540. Wow.
Yeah, it was 543. Yeah. A lot of people are still shorting it. I mean, there's a lot of shorts on it. Anytime somebody tries to buy it up, they just get absorbed. So I mean, I'll look at it like this. It's being bid up, but you can see that the bids are falling off. So it's, somebody's trying to save it. It's trying to save itself. So again, if I hate to say it, but if they file for bankruptcy,
bad stuff would happen. Although I'm sure they have war gamed this thing out. If I bet the farm on it like that, how many times do you think I would have run the whole situation through, strategy committee, AI, whatever. They have. I think in one of Saylor's speeches, he talked about, plan A and plan B. When Bitcoin goes to $13 million each, Plan B, it goes to, $10,000 and somewhere in between. And he said, we've got, plans A to Z, but those are the two that everyone focuses on. And so sure, he's war game this out. Carmen says, dude, Tucker Carlson just released his interview with SBF. Oh my God.
That's going to be good. I haven't seen that. I got to go see it. Dang. You know what's so interesting about that is that, what's up?
It's just, this Tucker just, don't get me started.
All right. You can tell Tom really likes Tucker Carlson. He's doing the whole entire. No.
I just don't like yellow journalism. I don't like. I don't like his style. I didn't like it when he was on Fox. I didn't like how he takes some tiny little thing, spins it into controversy, and the people flock to him. Guy gets $500,000 a show to, not online, to appear in person.
$500,000 to appear in person on a person's show.
No, to appear in person, like give a speech.
Really?
He goes on tour. He came all the way across Canada. People flock to him.
Who's paying but what does he bring to the area that he could draw in require $5 million or $500,000? I mean, I can understand
people pay for it. They get sponsors. Sponsors pay for that shit. I don't understand it.
Wow, that's interesting.
Well, no understando.
Yeah. I gotta use
maybe I'm just jealous. That's the problem, Pedro.
Do you want to do the commercial mid-time? Because it's been almost an hour here, so we can.
You know what? I haven't been doing the manual commercials.
Oh.
Recently, I put YouTube back on auto because I don't know, weird stuff's been going on with YouTube today. The funny thing is today, Pedro, remember I was talking about Rumble. So it was like we're trying it via Rumble, and the YouTube viewership went down. So today I didn't use the Rumble interface to manage YouTube. I did it normally. Same result. So something's going on. Going on.
Are you watching like all the senators who went to mass? And they all have like the giant cross, whether you're Democrat or Republican. Have you been noticing?
All I saw was Rubio's.
Oh no, there's a few of them, dude. I was watching this guy on CNN.
Today's Thursday. It's not Ash Wednesday.
Right. I mean, Ash Wednesday, but a lot of them went and spoke, and they had the whole entire. Like, there's Rubio's, but then there's a few senators in Congress I was watching, and a lot of them had that. So I just thought it was real interesting. I was just like, did you go to Ash Wednesday? Did you go to mass?
I haven't been to church on Ash Wednesday in probably 20 years or 30 years.
Heathen! Reprobate!
I'm lucky if I can make it during Christmas and Easter. And Mrs. Striking and I, they're right outside the window here is the big Roman Catholic Basilica here in Ottawa, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Inside, you're just like this, wow. And so we'll try to go during the not on Christmas, but during the Christmas season when it's all decorated up. Looks really nice.
Yeah.
They got the organ that shakes your bones.
Bro, that stuff. You've never been to a church service until they've got those giant organs, bro. That literally feels like vibrations going through your body, man. I was in New York.
It was an old German church, and they had the German craftsmen back in the day hand build one of those.
Oh, so it all vibrates. Yeah.
And you hit that low A.
The ground, everything, dude. And it's just you're sitting there, and as a person, you're like, well, they built them this way, right? Where it almost feels like you almost transcend out of your body in a second. You're like,
they're like, damn, is that God? Yes, it is, son.
And they purposely designed it this way so that you would feel these crazy, because I mean, the whole entire system is almost built through the whole entire church as well. So it's like the wind, how it all comes in, and so it's it's impressive. Like the stuff that imagine what it would cost today if they were going to build that.
I remember when the church refurbed it, and just the general basics, it was like $500,000 to refurb it.
I would assume it's
Bellows
probably
and all that type of stuff, that air pumping things that. It's like anything else. You can do it cheaply, and then it sucks, or you have to do it right. Like you want the air bellows, they have to move this massive amount of air, but you don't want the bellow making. I remember listening to the guy talking about it when they were rehabbing the church, and he said we have to rebuild this thing, but they have to be quiet when it squeezes the air. Otherwise, you hear the bellows instead of the pipes. And so they're like, it's enormously expensive to do that. I was like, oh, good Lord. I'm like, you have to pocket out more money. Here's another $20.
And all they need is like 50,000 of you guys to throw $20 in, and they can just put a patch on it.
Well, the guy running the fundraising for the church pulled it off, and all sorts of fundraisers and stuff. Many of them involve drinking beer and gambling, like good Catholics.
Remember, it's only after when is Mardi Gras? After Ash Wednesday or before? It was before Ash Wednesday, right? So
yeah, Mardi Gras is over now, I believe.
Yeah, so it's got to be before Ash Wednesday, and then it's 40 days, right? Until Easter.
Yeah, I think it's 36 days or something like that. Easter's the 20th of April.
Yeah, so it's the whole entire the ritual. I just think it's interesting what we're seeing. But imagine if on a day in 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when like you've got your robot chilling with you, and you're like, hey, what's Bitcoin at right now? And he sits there and goes, it's at $2 million.
When she sits there with you.
She? What do you mean she?
Do you think that any straight male is going to have a male robot, or will it be a female?
Dude, that's just creepy to me. Dude. I'm like that stuff like that.
Just
like,
wait till they're realistic, man.
I don't even want to. No, I'm good.
And it's going to be like, fetch me some coffee, and all of a sudden, I'm calling out doom for women. Because every men will just turn into chauvinist assholes again, and telling the robot, clean that, do this, wash me. Or it'll be like Eddie Murphy coming out of in the Coming to America. He comes out of the toilet, wipers.
Oh, bro, no.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be weird.
Scary,
it's gonna be a weird. That's all those post-apocalyptic scenarios with the cyberpunk look and all this type of stuff, and weird machines and robots that do stuff. That will be exactly right.
Oh, dude, that just gives me the mad creepers, bro. Like,
have you seen the machines in China that retrieve the men's love juice, as they call it?
No, wait, what? I thought you were going to. I know about the robots that go through and the little dogs. They also have the little karate guy.
There's clinics that buy men's sperm, and they make it. It's the funniest fucking thing you've ever seen.
What? No, man, I don't want to hear about this.
Yeah, it's no work needed by the donor.
Oh, bro, what happens if something happens wrong? Something like.
Maybe they got a clinic for that too. Got it broke, get it fixed.
Oh man, but it was broken by your own robot.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show has gone 100% awry today, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, let's jump back. Yeah, I was gonna say,
this is the entertainment you get. You get asteroid mining and broken dicks.
Asteroid mining. There you go. But I just think it's so interesting to see what we're seeing, and you know what? Every time you have major innovation, sex is always some form of sex. Debauchery is always created, so it's kind of crazy there. With that said, I'm gonna step away for about 5 minutes, probably about 2 minutes, and I will be back. So hold your horses, Tom. I leave the con in your hand.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about the news here. Pedro takes a break here. Bitcoin down in under the $90,000 mark again. not doing well. That's weird. I have 88,000 here and 90,000 on the chart over my head. Let's see if we can figure what's wrong with that. Bitcoin price. Reload. Oh, look at that. Anyway, Bitcoin is down here. Not a bad thing, not a good thing. Like I said, the speculation regarding the event tomorrow in Washington, D.C., which will be a big thing. I'm sure there'll be a private part of it during the day, a public part of it, some announcements, that type of stuff. We'll hear all about it. Remember, the market is smarter than the market at large is generally smarter than you are. So be careful trading. Today, the market probably has this all of this priced in. There's too many insiders in there for any big announcement that would cause the price to skyrocket without that information getting out. So there's probably nothing tomorrow that would come out saying we're going to press the button and buy $5 trillion worth of Bitcoin, causing it to go to $1 million. That would be the ultimate market manipulation. So that's not likely to happen. It's also not likely to happen that they'll come out and say we're not going to do anything. I think what they're going to do is lay a roadmap to go from starting the process of a Bitcoin reserve to actually getting it done. And they'll have two methods. I bet you they're going to talk about doing it with Congress's approval and without Congress's approval, and the different ways that it can happen. Remember, while Mr. Trump is the president and in charge of the Republican Party, and essentially, I'm not going to say in charge of Congress, but he controls an amount of power that has been unseen since really FDR in the 40s with Congress. And that was because of a world war going on. Trump's just got it because of his personality. But the Democrats still have the ability to stop things in the Senate. The Republicans don't have 60 seats. The filibuster is still in place. So in order to get over the filibuster, you need 60 votes. And so there'll be multiple roadmaps, and there'll be multiple things on the line that the Republicans could trade for the Democrats to get some of them to come along and vote for it. The political talk could go on and on and on and on and on and on and stuff. Most of you aren't really interested in it. But Pedro and I are interested in it. And it's good to talk about. And on that note, I like to say this, and I'm getting closer to doing it. I just don't have a lot of time because of real world stuff, trying to earn money and that type of stuff. We're going to be splitting this show up into two things, into the DYOR Live, the AI Life, and the other things that we do, which is more talk and that type of stuff. And we're going to be splitting it, the crypto and trading talk, into TradeWave, and that'll come as soon as I can get further along the line of getting the app released and all that type of stuff. Pedro, you're back. Nice little bio break, and it's good timing because I'm going to put you back on the crypto screen, and I'm going to do the same thing.
Go do what you got to do. Let's check out some of these charts here. Just do it. Just do it.
I will be right back.
All right. So XRP. Check out XRP. The huge set-off came down. You saw it come down. But you guys, I want to make sure a lot of these charts look the same. But XRP is showing this kind of the most advent. We saw the huge buy. Then we saw more. We saw the short come in, and we saw more volume on the shorts. Then we see a push up, but we're seeing volume drop. Yeah, as it's moving up and then volume dropping. So to me, that's a huge indicator. This one is probably the biggest disparity to it. And this is what I'm looking at. And we can see something kind of similar with Bitcoin, where we're watching it. But more important, when I'm looking at the alts, that's really what I'm looking at. I want to see which alt I can buy at the cheapest. So right now, I've been combing through. I like Shiba Inu. I think Shiba Inu is going to drop, right? I'm looking at, why am I forgetting what it's called? AVAX. And AVAX here is looking very similar to me. You can see a lot more volume. On the green day, we didn't have that much, and then we're watching it kind of come down here. So I'm expecting AVAX typically even come back down maybe to the lower part of this $15 zone here. So I'm going to actually take off some of these zones for you guys. So it's starting to really kind of cloud up things. So we're watching this here. And remember, each one of those zones literally is just a bounce, pop, come back down, pop, come back down. And they're really, for me, just day trades where I can sit there and go, okay, look, it's bouncing off a daily area. We're going to be able to see it bounce off of here a couple days potentially. And so you have a small risks. You have a small amount of risk for a big play. And so that's the entire point for those, more as a day trading situation. Okay, here we go. So you got weekly demand here that we've been playing off of now for almost, what is this, since August of last year. So you can see here we came down, popped, came back down, and now we're retesting this here. We should see it go further down into that 17, if not 15 area, where it's going to find some support there again. Now, forgive me. One of the other ones that I'm looking at, again, is the Doge. Doge is doing something kind of similar. Here, as you guys can see, again, you can see how in the couple days that we were going up, we saw the volume coming down here. And so I'm just kind of waiting to see, again, another turnaround and sell-off. We're seeing something similar on the NASDAQ right now. NASDAQ is starting to sell off. And so we should see another sell-off here in BTC as we move forward here. This is where we're looking to kind of capture the next leg down is what I'm expecting. So I like this $86 or 86,000 area here as the next real leg down here. And then we can DCA it as it comes down. So I personally, like I've told you guys, is that $75 area is what I'm looking at. As this thing is selling off, I'm looking at it. How far could it go? 1 second, guys. Come on. I'm checking my other charts here, so forgive me. I connected this. Wow, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, so this thing, so we're at the low here. This thing has a running ground to, right there. Oh, it's 2,000 points. 2,000 multiple 6 to 12,000. So 76. So more like this, if this thing starts to really pop and we start to see the NASDAQ sell off, this thing could just see a bottom fall out here and get down to that 76,000 here quick, real quick. So it all depends on what the NASDAQ is going to do. Definitely look at that. It's already starting to turn. We should see a pullback. If you want to get in on this trade here, this is going to be the pullback area that you want to get in at. Boom. And we're going to do that. Kind of this area here, and then we want to capture this from here to here all the way down. So we should see a pullback once it goes below here, this point of 88,231. You should see it go down, come back up, pop, take out these stops here, and then see it come back down, continue down is what I'm looking at. We're seeing, come on, Nazi. NASDAQ, what are you doing? Are you gonna continue? Looking like it. That 15-minute 8-period moving average on the NQ is definitely starting to really hold strong here. So we're gonna see what happens there. On the back end, as I'm looking at this, BTC, we're seeing volume starting to pick up now. Vol is definitely coming in. We saw as we were pushing up, there were no demand wicks, as you guys could see, no demand wicks as it was moving up, and then it was definitely looking like it was turning around. So again, I gotta go short at this point, at least until we get down into these lower levels here, where we look to go long on a trading standpoint. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to when Tom gets that stuff set up, and Trade Wave will be fun for us to play with and allow you guys, to make some like quick cash. I know I forget who won. Who was it that basically went on vacation? Oh, what's up, Mr. Hurlsome? Who's the guy who went on vacation? Church was Energy Accumulation Center. Yeah, man, definitely. Organ and bell was to reset people by the vibrations. Logo of ESO represent the bell when spinning. I don't know what the ESO stand for. Forgive me for that. Oh.
Mr. 007, I think you're behind by about 10 minutes. You might want to skip ahead to the live.
Oh, definitely.
And that you called out me, that comment that said yo.
Yeah, I saw you. Yeah.
One of my various YouTube accounts that I pulled up.
I was about to say, is that Mr. Herlihy some guy?
That's him.
Are you somewhere where you are dropping some boys off the pool?
Nope. I went and got a little
there you
food,
are. Hey,
took a pee. Yeah, I'm not.
up,
I am not going to come in from the as they call it, the Pedro echo chamber.
No, bro. I told you I've got a big kitchen. It's not big.
That's right.
Nobody believes that, Pedro.
I'm gonna take a picture one day and show you guys. Look how big my ceilings are. So.
All right, so Pedro, you were just talking about the Bitcoin coming back down into the lower levels, and when you said it, you'd be looking to go short. What's the time frame on that? Like over, the next minute or over the next month, or somewhere, or all in between?
Well, this one right here, I'm expecting to see
Carmen, you are correct. You are correct
the
on
the NQ right now. It's looking like it's about to drop here and kind of fall. Yeah, the NASDAQ, the Qs. And so because you see the correlation between the NQ and what we're seeing with Bitcoin, the NASDAQ, I would expect if we see a follow through on it, then we're going to see it come through. So I'm waiting for it to come up into this area here. But I might have to actually pull this because we're pulling back up to the 15-minute period moving average here on the NASDAQ. And I'm basically just kind of waiting for this thing to pull up and see, right? I'm really looking at that 15-minute zone right here on the 15-minute. And then kind of come back into here, pick up these orders, and then sell off. And then NASDAQ looks pretty similar. So I'm just going to have to wait and see what happens. This is all within the next few minutes here. So this is the area right here. And then the goal is to capture it down to the 86 area. That indicates if we're going to see a NASDAQ bottom here fall out. Yep. We have a potential drop of 2,000 points.
What is that thing you just ate?
It's a granola bar. Chocolate granola bar.
It looked from the side. It looked like the floater in the pool from Caddyshack. Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth. That's what I'm talking about. A little granola bar. So they're good. They're probably not good for me, but they're really good though. Get a little snack to have on air. So,
So to me, it looks like I'm looking at the 15-minute chart, and it looks like Bitcoin is showing weakness.
I would agree with you. So it all just depends on what it's going to do here.
Yeah, if the volume drops off, it had like the past, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours had some decent volume. But if that volume drops off here in the next little bit, I think this thing comes down to whatever your next level is.
It's at 86. The 86 area.
Yes, I see that.
Now that's where I'm going to try to push it. Again, these are targets. They're not set in stone. When I trade, once I'm profitable, I don't go negative, because I mean, I hate it when I used to do this all the time. I'd be up literally like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 and then let it trade against me because I'm an idiot. Right? Like, so if I'm profitable and that thing is going, I'll take 1 to 1, 1 to 2.5, 125% of what my initial stop is at, and then I move up my stop to the local low, and I say, see what happens, because I'd rather have you guys build up. Remember, if you could do, and I know this sounds crazy, but think about it like this: if you can create and build your account, if you're sitting at $200, $300 a day, okay, and you have $1,000, or let's say $20 to $30. Remember, I was showing that scale of $20 to $30 a day, building up your account.
Yep.
Remember, that's a real thing. You can do that. Tom, you've experienced that.
Yep.
So,
in fact, I'm working on the $100 a day of the days that I sit down and seriously. Days that I put my mind to it and I'm not distracted. So far it works all right, except for, like I say, when I make those rookie mistakes, which I haven't made since the one the other day when I went short instead of setting a trigger price.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
So, yeah, I'm really excited though. What we're seeing, that just these movements, bro, are so good. They're so big. Like, it makes trading easy, right?
Like we said, the theme of yesterday's show is volatility. And
volatility.
Whatever. But the volatility is good. It's good for it. You can make some money in it as a day trader.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm excited. I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited about the whole entire. I know it sounds crazy here, but I'm really excited about Elon Musk and seeing if he can really pull off. I mean, it would change the market. It would on a fundamental level. If you could go through and literally start to astro mine it on a fundamental level, it literally takes all scarcity away.
Well, think about the other side. I mean, at the molecule level, they're getting close. In fact, they have done it. They've made a gold molecule by using $50 million worth of electricity to use lasers to compress these things, much like the fusion reaction. But imagine if all of a sudden they come up with the dollar way of doing that instead of the $50 million way of doing that, and all of a sudden we can make gold. Then you can just, then they'll have to use something else. You have to go to uranium or platinum. Then that will eliminate gold as a scarce asset. Just like the fake diamonds. They figured that out. People are like, they're only made in supernovas or in the bottoms of coal mines and this type of stuff, or coal seams under super pressure. And then all of a sudden the Chinese are like, aha! We got it. We figured it out.
Which is really interesting. You know what I even think more interesting is if we can do that, because the best compute is through gold, right? And having gold as a conductor. If we can make it to a point where all we do is build in gold, how much better that will be. Like that device, whatever. It'd be like, instead of using silver or copper, you can just use gold because it's just cheap.
Well, I have to figure. Would have to assume if they're able to turn lead into gold, be able to turn it into silver and copper too. No, that's next. Each molecule is different, and the forces that are required to make those molecules are unbelievable. And some of the well, yeah, that one's a little harder than gold, and then or a little harder than element X, and the next. And they're like, how much harder? They're like, 10 trillion times harder. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. You know what I was even thinking about is with what we're doing with not deep fold, the deep fold, where they're literally folding proteins on each other and having them fold out like 2 times
into what they want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like new hearts and arms and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. It's been pretty dope to sit there and see, and I'm only imagining what they're going to be able to do when they combine AI and quantum computing, where it can literally, really start to have a governor between the two, where it tells the quantum computer, all right, this is useless. Come more over here, and work it out over here. That is going to exponentially push the limits of what our research can be done. I mean, once you really have a real working model that's very small amount of error, and then you combine a AI computer with it or AI product with it, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
Meister, welcome to the show, coming to us on our Rumble feed. Thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, whatever.
Mr. One, what's
and
up, America?
What's your little icon there? Is that a beach ball?
No, it's like a medieval.
I was trying to be nice.
Oh, there you go. Right, probably. Looks like the stuff that they used to, like the Christians used to run into the used to go out with the Pope's approval, right? For the and then that they used to have that shield that kind of looks like that. I don't know, I just sound like an idiot there.
No, or the the knights' shields with their coat of arms on it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those granola bars are you gonna have?
Just 3. Just 3.
And I recall at the beginning of the show you had a massive sandwich.
Yeah, it's a lunchtime. This is the middle of lunch.
Dude, tomorrow.
I mean, I literally get up at 5 o'clock.
Eat half the sandwich and no granola bars. Calorie deficit, my friend. You got to be in a calorie deficit. Oh, prepare for barking.
Or you just build a bunch of muscle, and you feed the muscle, and then the muscle burns more fat. So, well, Tom, I had a friend of mine who used to say, listen, you can sit there and save money all you want, or you can learn how to make more money. So, I'd rather go out and make muscle, and so I can eat more. Oh.
Sorry, I still got barking dog syndrome here.
It's all right. It's all right. Bark away. Bark away. Let's cut through here real quick and see what we got going on here.
Hold on, before we do that, I had the Bitcoin chart up here, and I've been going through the various time frames on that while you were talking and all that, and I've settled on this kind of wedge here. At the bottom of it's on the 1 minute chart, but it's the same thing on the 5 minute chart. And when it just seems to me, without looking at the levels or the liquidity maps or heat maps or anything like that, it just seems to me that once it gets to the point here, be closer. The point here, it's going to drop south out of that. Just not looking wonderful for Bitcoin. unless some news comes out or something.
The 8 on the 15-minute and Q is showing weakness to the downtrend, so it potentially could pop up. That's why I have my stuff right here.
Do you have a? Oh, you have the Bitcoin chart up.
Yeah. But like you said, volume is dropping off. This all depends on what the Nasdaq's going to do.
The QQQ. Let me bring that one up here on Trading View here.
Mm-hmm.
Which chart do you follow for the Nasdaq? Type in Q and there's like 400 of them.
I do this one right here, which is the continuous. There's YM and then exclamation mark.
Exclamation. Yellow Pages Limited. No, not that one. Yamaha Motors. Nope. E-Mini Dow. No.
Yep.
Truck Alliance.
Go to futures.
Oh, you're looking
or
at
just go to all. Just go to all and type in YM exclamation YM. No, not YM. Sorry. NQ.
Gonna say is that
1 exclamation mark. But I don't.
Q1 exclamation.
The problem is you're gonna have delayed unless you pay for.
Yeah, I don't pay for the NASDAQ.
Yeah, so I pay for it on my other charting software, and we are coming down on the Nasdaq here. So, sorry, I know it's in everybody's ear. There it goes. Here we go again. Oh my oh.
Why does the correlation exist between down on NASDAQ and down on BTC?
Because they put as a structure point that Bitcoin is a technology and the NASDAQ is the top 100 technology. And so instead of it's not in it, right? Like they don't have like it's not inside of the NASDAQ, but now that the institutions are trading it, it's being literally traded as NASDAQ, like a NASDAQ because it's technology, how the NASDAQ would be traded.
I think Mikester's shining your ass a little. He says, I think Pedro's mic is turned up too much with all that crackling and background noise. I think that's his granola bar wrapper.
Yeah, he's probably making fun of me. It's all good. He's loud with background noises. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Umbrella Corp is what he said. That his mic. What do you call that? Your moniker symbol. Your people P. So I just think it's interesting though what we're seeing with Elon. I don't know why that's in my head, dude, but I just think it is such a big deal. Do you think we will first be able to crack the molecule issue, or do you think we'll be doing mining
I have no
of
idea
asteroids?
about that. No idea about that. Well, I think the molecule issue will be just like the nuclear fusion thing. We can do nuclear fusion all day, every day. Right now, we can do it, and they do it on labs. There's plenty of YouTube videos, and they're like, "Yep, that's nuclear fusion," except that we're putting in 100 megawatts into the equation to get 0.00 watts out of it. So I think that if they're lucky and if the science turns out right, they'll be able to do it with gold. But it'll be that, for ages, it'll be, it cost us, $100 million to make $1 million worth of gold. So
good point. Well, anything else you want to talk about? Resident Evil zombie movie.
I decided I should have. I did it, but what I should have done is make a big deal about it and done the old power up thing. Well, the audience could hear it, but I'll do it for your thing. Power up thing. I'm making a trade, live trade here on DYOR Live. I went short here, predicting that the declining NASDAQ will force Bitcoin down a few points, try to make 10, 15 bucks on it, and call it a day for that. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see how it goes. I'll report back later in our Telegram room. If you haven't joined our Telegram room, in the link of the body here, in the body of the show here is a link, except for you guys on X. That has a link to our Telegram room. Join it. It's not a trading room by any means. It's just really about the show and BS between everybody. It's a good way for the show viewers to interact with Pedro and I, the hosts.
Yeah.
So join up if you haven't done that.
And it's also in the links for Rumble as well, for our community members over there as well.
Yep.
Awesome. Yes. So you go into where it says stream now. We have 9 people watching us. And in that, if you ask for more, you will sit there and you'll see DYOR Telegram link, as well as our website link, and also the Revo Rideshare referral link as well. So that's it.
We have a Revo Rideshare link in there. I've kept it in there. The Crypto Swamp Creatures, our sister show, did an episode about how companies could utilize blockchain, and they focused on kind of not a replacement for Uber, but a little different take on the rideshare market. Revo Rideshare produces the software and administrative backend using Web3 and nodes to power the various rideshare local operations. Because you think, Uber runs all the rideshare stuff. Actually, what they do is they people that are local, either people like Pedro and I just say, I'm going to go do Uber for the evening, or companies like that have 10 or 15 drivers on them when they don't have an airport run or something like that. They say, all right, drivers, go out on Uber and do it. What Revo does is it allows those people to manage their stuff and earn the money directly. It's really a great concept. I can't possibly take any here, but they're growing throughout the U.S. and they're allowing the drivers to take control and be part of the business owner of the whole thing. It's really interesting. So I said that we'd keep the link in there a while to get the YouTube algorithm to really keep seeing it over and over again. So if you want to sign up for that, Revo Rideshare coming to most cities. Pretty cool. Anyway, Pedro, that's all I got today. Tomorrow will be interesting. We'll do instead of full rant Friday, we'll do a show tomorrow, so we can cover the summit.
Oh no, we got to do full rant Friday. I actually the last few days, last few weeks, I just have had things I've had to do with my foster boys and stuff. So that's why I haven't done much there. But
all right.
I do want to do full rant Friday and just kind of open that up, and then we could probably even just live stream it. Right, you can do that. Can you live stream and space?
Of course I can.
Yeah, because we see Zach do it all the time. Of course,
I used to do that a long time ago, and I just stopped.
I want to try. I want to do it because, especially with what's happening there with the.
Well, I'll try and figure out what the schedule is for public information tomorrow regarding the crypto reserve. I have to imagine it's going to be earlier in the day, not like later, because tomorrow will be Friday. And Friday in Washington, D.C., everyone gets on an airplane.
Flies home.
So I got to assume that this thing will be wrapped up by 1 or 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Allow people to get to the airport and get the hell out of there. I was reading one article. They're showing all the people coming in for the event tomorrow, and they said that the private jet area at Dulles. Private jets don't really come to Reagan National anymore because the government has made it so complicated for private jets to fly in, the security requirements. So now they all go to Dulles out in the suburbs, and they said it's going to be like a mini Air Force area for the crypto private jets coming in.
Yeah, it's actually going to be kind of crazy because, dude, everybody and their mama that's in crypto is going to be there. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're listening to Elon, Michael Saylor, Kathy Wood, all those people, that type of stuff. Never mind, all the people we really don't hear a lot about. Brad Garlinghouse, all those dudes. I'm sure the guys from Circle will be there.
Absolutely.
All that type of stuff.
Did we ever connect with the guys from what was it? They were an auditing company last bull cycle, and we interviewed them over at up in Toronto. Why am I forgetting their name?
Auditing
Oh
company.
yeah, it was like they audit projects and code, like a major. No.
America.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
You snotty little bastard.
I've been lacking on my sound effects, but I'm going to get this one going here, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
That's the
We
show
are outta
outro.
here.
Oh, outro. Where's Jesus when we need him, or Crypto Mike for the last comment of the day? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, show today talking about what the United States government did with its Bitcoin, selling it off for 195,000 Bitcoins for almost nothing in terms of Bitcoin dollars. Left $16.6 billion on the table, soon to be an equivalent of $100 billion. But regardless, that means the United States government's going to have to go to the market and buy Bitcoin somehow, either over the counter from Michael Saylor or Binance, or somebody like that. Or they're planning on seizing a whole bunch right now and be like, sue us for it.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Great. In fact, that's a great episode of the Crypto Swamp Creatures, our sister show. They did an episode of how would the U.S. government acquire so much Bitcoin, and the answer was seize it.
Well, they did it with gold back in the 1930s.
I don't mean seize it from us legally. I mean just go around, start arresting people, drug dealers, all these people that use crypto, and just keep their crypto. That's essentially what they do. But anyway, that's all we got for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. I'm waiting for someone to give the last comment here, but looks like it's not going to happen. Anyway, Pedro, thanks for all your commentary today. Hopefully my little short trade will work out here, and I'll report back for riches. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media universe. This guy over here in this box is Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. We will see you tomorrow. This plays. Thank you.